Hey, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something we all deal with, but sometimes it gets the best of us emotions. Especially as women, we can feel things so deeply, and that's not a bad thing, but sometimes it can be overwhelming. You might find yourself getting frustrated, anxious, or sad, and you're not sure how to get control of it. In this video, I'm going to talk about how to manage emotions without letting them take over your life. Let's figure this out together, because we've all been there. Ready? Let's get into it. Okay, so let's start with this. Have you ever noticed how fast emotions can hit you? Like, one minute you're totally fine, and the next something small can happen, and suddenly you're angry or upset. It's crazy how quick it happens, right? And I bet when it does, you don't always realize what's going on until you're already deep into that feeling. That's the thing. Emotions can sneak up on us, and if we're not paying attention, they can take over before we even realize it. So, what's the first step? Honestly, it's just noticing how you're feeling in the moment. Like, let's say you're having a bad day. Maybe someone said something rude, or things aren't going the way you wanted. Instead of reacting right away, pause and ask yourself, wait, how am I feeling right now? Naming it helps, like saying to yourself, okay, I'm frustrated, or I'm feeling hurt. It sounds simple, but when you label how you're feeling, it kind of stops that emotion from spiraling out of control. I remember a time when I was super stressed at work. I was dealing with a lot, and I didn't realize how much it was affecting me until I snapped at someone over something small. In that moment, I wasn't thinking about how I was feeling, I was just reacting. Looking back, if I had just paused for a second to notice my stress, I probably wouldn't have let it get to that point. So, it's about catching those feelings before they escalate. And speaking of catching emotions, you know what helps? Taking a few deep breaths. I know it sounds like such basic advice, but hear me out. When you're in the middle of feeling angry or anxious, your body starts to go into overdrive, your heart races, your muscles tense up, and you might even feel your face get hot. That's your body reacting to the stress, but it doesn't have to stay like that. Next time you're feeling emotional, try taking a deep breath, like a really deep one. Inhale through your nose, hold it for a second, and then exhale slowly through your mouth. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just doing that a few times can actually help calm your body down. It sounds too simple to work, but it really does make a difference. Sometimes just giving yourself that space to breathe helps you think more clearly instead of reacting impulsively. And that brings me to something else: giving yourself space. When you're feeling emotional, it's easy to get caught up in the moment, right? But if you can, try to step away, even if it's just for a minute. Like, if you're having an argument or feeling overwhelmed, it's totally okay to say, I need a second. Step outside, go for a short walk, or just take a break from whatever's happening. Giving yourself that space helps you calm down and get some perspective. I've done this plenty of times. I'll be in the middle of something stressful, and everything feels like it's closing in. But when I take a step back and remove myself from the situation, even if just for a few minutes, I can come back feeling a little more balanced and not so caught up in the heat of the moment. It's about taking a breather literally and figuratively. And look, emotions are not something you can or should ignore. Sometimes we try to push them down or bottle them up, but that doesn't work in the long run. You've got to process them somehow. For me, writing in a journal helps. It's a way to get my thoughts out of my head and onto paper. But that's just one way. Everyone's different. Maybe for you, it's talking to someone close or even just taking time to yourself. The point is, don't bottle it up. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to vent, vent. Just find a way that works for you to let out those feelings in a healthy way. Now, let's talk about something a lot of us struggle with: wanting to control things we can't. Think about it. How many times have you been upset because something happened that you had no control over? Maybe someone said something hurtful, or a situation didn't go as planned. It sucks, right? But here's the thing. You can't control other people, and you can't control everything that happens. The only thing you can control is how you respond to it. This one is tough, but it's a game changer. When something happens that upsets you, ask yourself, is this something I can change? If the answer is no, then focus on how you're going to deal with it instead. It's not easy, but when you let go of trying to control everything, you free up so much emotional energy. You start focusing more on what's in your hands rather than stressing over what isn't. One more thing that's helped me is being kinder to myself. I think a lot of us, especially as women, can be so hard on ourselves when we're emotional. We think we're being too sensitive or overreacting, and we end up feeling guilty for even having emotions in the first place. But that's just not fair to yourself. Everyone feels things, and it doesn't make you weak or less capable. In fact, it's what makes you human. So, instead of beating yourself up for feeling emotional, try treating yourself with the same compassion you'd give to a friend. If your best friend was having a bad day, you wouldn't tell her to just get over it, right? You'd listen to her and support her. Give yourself that same kindness. It's okay to have bad days. It's okay to feel overwhelmed sometimes. The important thing is how you bounce back from it, not that you're perfect all the time. And while we're on the topic, I've found that focusing on the things I'm grateful for really helps shift my mindset when emotions are getting the better of me. It doesn't have to be a big, dramatic thing, just something simple. Like, I'm grateful for the people in my life, or I'm grateful for having a job, or even I'm grateful for this cup of coffee. It sounds cheesy, but it works. When you start focusing on what's good, it helps balance out those negative feelings, even just a little. So, that's it. I hope you found some of this helpful, and if you did, maybe try one or two of these things next time you're feeling a little overwhelmed. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, comment below, and subscribe for more. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay strong.